Welcome to the Suzuki DR200 rebuild, or top end rebuild. I'm just going to be trying to put on a new cylinder and piston and rings. So first off, take all the plastics and the gas tank off. Carburetor, because it's the top end. Same with the exhaust. Take off your motor mount, top one, and then I don't know if you have to remove the horn or not. It looks like it'll come up without, try to bend it forward. But yeah, and then we're gonna loosen the cam chain tensioner, and most of the time you're gonna need to put it at top dead center on the you're gonna need to line up the crankshaft with the slots. But my engine's seized, so I can't even move it with the crank by hand with the crank, and there's no kickstarter. Alright, got the exhaust off, carb out. I'm gonna be taking off the mounting, the front engine mount, and I'm gonna be removing these. There's like 10 cylinder or the valve cover bolts. Alright, so here's where I'm at. Good news is I freed the crankshaft. It was jammed, but I was eventually able to turn it. Bad news is that when I opened up the air side or the dry side of the bike, it was covered in oil. Like you can see, the stator is just gumped with oil. So I don't know if there's like a seal where it transferred over here, but so I'm gonna be taking off the head. So here's the valve cover. There's some like metal shavings. The cam journal is all messed up. I don't know if this is like gasket or metal shavings. But there's some really bad news on this, and look, the cam chain is just gone. It's gone. So here's the cam. No, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's really, there's metal pieces welded in here. And I am getting ready to take off the cylinder head. And in the cam journal, that C-ring, there's like a little C-bearing thing, kind of like a main bearing. It's welded on there too, so I can't get that off. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to send off the cylinder head or buy a new one. So I found the problem. And there's a giant hole in the piston. I'm hoping the crank's still good. I'm hoping I don't have to go on the bottom end. I'm gonna need a new cam chain though. And I think I should be good to go. I'm gonna send that cylinder or that head off to somebody that knows how to repair it. Cylinder still looks pretty good, no scores. Head's still good. I don't know if the valves are bent. I can't tell. But the worst, I'd say, the worst part is probably this cam journal. Alright, so I can get all the parts and do everything without doing the bottom end. But the hardest, what might stop this whole rebuild is if I have to get a new head, cylinder head, and the valve cover. If I take this to the machine shop and they can't repair it and I have to get a new one, it's like $600. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with the bike. It's not even worth it. The Suzuki, even if it's a new one, they're worth $3,000 just new. So we'll see. I'll be going over the service manual with you guys. So here it's saying, the service manual is very good. So here's like the rotor tool. So here's like the rings, the clocking or the gap. So it was definitely not like that. It was all like on the left side. So I'll be going over this whole service manual. It's a great manual. Even has the parts diagrams in the manual. Wish it was in color, but that's okay. Pictures are a little crappy. Alright, I'll catch you guys on the next one. So the Suzuki manual calls for all these different special tools. And I doubt you need them all. But I would say the minimum is at least the crankcase splitter, the rotor removing tool. You might need the rotor holder. Crankshaft installer. I bet you this one you can't slide the crank back in without that tool. You need some kind of bearing removing tool. It lists 4 different micrometers. Yeah, and the impact driver set. I don't even want to. There's like these tough bolts to get out. They're like Phillips head screws on the shift pulse mechanism. I don't even want to deal with that. Oh, another thing that's weird about this Suzuki bike is that when you take off the primary nut, they want you to use this connecting rod holder. You guys won't believe how much this rotor holder tool costs. Holy friggin' cow. So this is one I found. It's a different part number. $40 shipping. It says it's coming from Israel. I don't even want it. This is the only one I could find on eBay. So I'm gonna try to use one of those like strap wrenches. So I'm trying to order everything, the parts, the tools, everything else before it all gets here. So I'm gonna order this. I'm gonna use this. Only $11. As for my rotor, to hold the rotor. 3 out of 5 reviews. Whatever. So good thing that this rotor nut is only like 40 foot-pounds torque, unlike the clutch or the primary gear, which is like 100 foot-pounds or something like that. But what I think Suzuki has wrong is when you do the primary gear, you can either like use those special. You can either use a gear jammer or one of those clutch hub things if you can get it in there to hold the gear while you twist it. But Suzuki has like a tool called like a connecting rod holder, and it's like you put the connecting rod through these like double bars so it holds it while you crank on the bolt, but that puts a whole bunch of pressure on so it'll go like this, kind of like this. Kind of like squeezes the connecting rod, kind of like squeezes it so you can take off the bolt, but you're putting upwards pressure on it and it could definitely break something. So that's what I think Suzuki has wrong. So this video is going to be about motorcycle parts, and there's a whole bunch of different places you can get them. They're not as easy as car parts where you can just go to AutoZone or a store, because there's not really that many motorcycle stores where I live, so everything's got to be online, especially certain things. In some websites, they only carry certain parts, like, you know, most of them don't carry like engine parts, like the little gaskets and bolts and seals and O-rings and stuff that I need to rebuild this engine. Only certain motorcycle stores. Alright, what's going on, my motor junkies? Hope you guys are staying tuned with this rebuild. So, an update. It's been a few days now since I worked on the bike. I've been going. That's another reason, is I don't want to leave it in pieces, so I don't want no one touching it because if someone like misplaces a seal or a gasket or something and I don't see it, it doesn't go back together right, bad things could happen. So that's why I don't want to have so many pieces. I'm trying to get this done as fast as I can, but the parts are just crazy. The time of the shipping and all that crap. So that's what's holding me up. Is there's a few things. One of them is this rotor removing tool from Suzuki itself. It's OEM manufacturer specialty tool. Ordered that off Partzilla. It said it was coming today, but they pushed it back for another month from now. That's what it's saying. No joke. So that's what I'm waiting for, and I can't do anything. I can't put the cam chain on because the cam chain goes behind. It goes behind there on a gear. So I need to get that off. I tried, prying it off. I took off the bolt, but I need the puller. There's also like a rotor holder tool, but I'm using like strap wrenches. So I hope that's gonna work. Yeah, so this rebuild's gonna take forever. I'm waiting for the cylinder head. I got some of the stuff from Babbitt's. I got the China cylinder and piston for Van Suzuki 200 or the XF 200. They use the same engine, so I got a cylinder head for that. We'll see how it fits. So yeah. So I'm not gonna be ordering that special Suzuki rotor holder. Basically, it's like a spoon with like a hole in it that you put over the bolt. You put over the bolt and you hold it. I'm not using that. I'm just using a strap wrench. I've used these on filters and stuff. They work okay, but if it's too greasy, it might not stick right. I only got about like 25% of the parts I need to get this rebuild on the way. Like I said, I'm waiting for the cylinder head, the camshaft, the valve cover head, all the gaskets and stuff, and they don't have that in stock right now, so it's coming from Japan, from Suzuki itself. So that's good. So yeah, it's totally different. Ordering parts is totally different than ordering parts for my Suzuki is way different than the Beta. With the Beta, there's no website online where I can order aftermarket, stuff, exhaust and stuff like that, and plastics. But I can't order engine parts offline besides top end. If I need that, special gasket in the bottom end, or power valve gasket, or some, washer or something that's in the bottom end, it's special. I have to go to the dealer, and when I'm doing my full rebuild, I have to write the part number down and give them that on a piece of paper and hope, the kid orders it or whatever. But I'm going to be doing a video about where to get parts in the Suzuki and the Kawasaki. I can go to the dealer, but I don't like to, because I got to do the same thing. I got to point out what I want, and I don't know if the kid's going to order it. So I like doing it online. Babbitt's and Partzilla is probably takes the cake for these. Now I can go online and just pick what I need off a diagram, and it's just way easier to order all those little seals and gaskets than try to point them out to some kid that doesn't know what the heck's going on. So this is only I don't know why they didn't send it in one order. This is just these must be gaskets, because this ain't no cylinder head or nothing. So I'll be opening this up. So this looks like it's just the oil filter and the special OEM O-ring. So another thing I like about ordering OEM is that it comes with the part number. So if I don't know what kind of, because there's going to be so many O-rings and gaskets that look the same, it's good to know, where it goes exactly, so I can just look up on the diagram, and I'll be having way more parts in this, way more little stuff. It's good to know that it comes with the number. So while I'm waiting, I'm going to be removing the clutch cover, and I'm scared what I'm going to see. All I'm looking at is the oil pump and seeing if the gear spins. If it's locked up or something. I don't think I need to split the cases to replace the oil pump, but I think it's good. I'm going to check the oil passages. Make sure no liquid sealer got in there. And then also I'm going to be removing this gasket material, and it's not coming off easy. So if you took that to a shop, they're going to charge you however long it takes to scrape all this gunk off. This could be like an hour, 2 hour job right here to scrape this off. You can see it's not coming up. I don't want it to fall. Yeah, it's just falling apart. These are some really crappy gaskets. So I'm going to be doing that. Alright, here's where I'm at. Luckily I got all the gasket off. I had to use a razor blade to get that off. Now here is also good news, is that the oil pump is still turning. So I don't know if the oil pump self gear in there itself is locked up, but if it's moving pretty freely, I'm not gonna fuck with it. So everything looks good in the bottom end. There wasn't any gasket holding up the oil passages or anything. Alright, so another thing I like about this motor is, well, I don't know, but there's no kickstart mechanism, so you don't have to worry about taking that off, and there would be an idle gear that would go to the clutch basket. Another thing is there's no water pump mechanism, so there would probably be like a water pump gear or something over here. It's 4-stroke, so there is an oil pump. And also, if it was a big bore 4-stroke, there would be like a counterbalancer rod that would have, or a gear that would go here. And it would be in a rod connecting to a metal weight on the other side. So you have to do that. And you have to make sure that's timed with like the primary gear with the crankshaft so it doesn't vibrate too much. So that will have to be timed too. So yeah, this motor's pretty simple. I still don't want to split the cases though. It looks like you can service the fuel pump without removing the clutch basket. It has enough clearance, so I don't even want to mess with it. I think it's good. I am going to check the oil strainer under where the drain bolt is, and then I'm also going to be flushing the crankcase. So I'm going to be pouring in just, if I had like a flushing machine that they do with like car engines and stuff at your oil change shop where they flush the old oil out, they have like a machine that does it, that pushes like the fluid. I don't have that tool, so I'm just going to like pour it in